What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Back with another rant, man. This is something that has been on my mind, and I'm the type of person. Usually, things have to amount for me to speak on it. Like if I'm really getting pissed off, then that's when I speak on it. But I want to talk about HBO and their commentary. Now, I like HBO when it comes to boxing. They're one of the founding fathers, if you will, of boxing. I grew up watching HBO boxing. I've seen Mickey Ward, Arturo Gatti, and a lot of classic fights on HBO. So I like HBO as a channel. You know, what I mean, I'm very happy with my subscription. Not even just boxing; they have good original series, past and present. You know, what I mean, they had series like The Wire and The Sopranos. Just good programming. Their documentaries are usually on point. 24/7 is kind of the quintessential, and you can tell All Access strives to be like 24/7 in a lot of categories and get kind of their swag from the 24/7 series. However, when it comes to boxing recently and HBO commentary, something just misses me. Now, you got a lot of great commentators in the game. I really like Roy Jones Jr. and I like Paulie Malignaggi. I think both of those guys, I mean, current and or former fighters, go figure. You know what I mean? They happen to be good commentators. They know how to put together thoughts, and they're fighters, so they know what they're looking at. Um, I think Showtime in recent memory does a better job of calling the fights. They seem to be less biased, less of an agenda, and more neutral. Like I don't really recall many times where I can say like, oh, the Showtime staff is just really riding somebody's coattail. Like the Canelo Laura, I feel like they're more balanced. They give you what Laura's doing right or wrong. Same thing with Canelo, you know what I mean? But HBO, when you come to HBO, just you could tell who they favor. You know what I mean? They love Gennady Golovkin, and rightfully so. This is not a bad thing about Gennady Golovkin because I love watching Gennady Golovkin. However, it's just the way they present it and the way they word things. It's like a true boxing fan can see the agenda. Like, I'm not saying he's overhyped or anything. Triple G is the goods, and I've told you that for a while. But when it comes to another fighter that they're not necessarily a fan of, then they don't show him much respect. You know what I mean? Like they focus on the wrong things. Like let's say it's a Timothy Bradley. Timothy Bradley has a deep resume. Fuck what y'all talking about and y'all. Oh, he has a big head and all that extra shit y'all want to talk about. I'm talking boxing. His resume is deep. He's a good fighter. Whether he won against Pacquiao, whether you think Ruslan beat him, which Ruslan didn't, but whatever you think, he's a good fighter with a deep resume. He has heart and he has a chin and good boxing ability. But they don't ride Timothy Bradley's coattail like certain other fighters. And it's not just him, but let's say Bradley, they seem to focus on more negative stuff. You know what I mean? Maybe because Jim Lampley, and he's one of the main culprits, but maybe it's because of you perceive the robbery in the Pacquiao fight. To be honest, neither one of them look great. I've seen both of them fight better than they looked in the fight together, their very first fight together. But I feel like certain HBO commentators, Larry Merchant was one of them. They don't give certain fighters credit. Like they never really gave Floyd Mayweather credit. Timothy Bradley, sometimes they focus on extra shit. Like the crowd seems to be booing. Like the crowd could be booing against like Brandon Rios versus Richard Abreu, but they won't necessarily make a statement about it. You know what I mean? And like take the focus off the fight. Talk about the fight. And I think HBO in recent memory, they're making a lot of mistakes. Like I remember watching Jean Pascal fight Lucien Bute, and for those of you guys who know World Star, the hip hop website, he was working with Q from World Star, so he had the little World Star logo etched and shaved into his head. The barber must have did it. And Jim Lampley was like, "Yeah, Jean Pascal has another face portrait. Like that ain't no fucking. Doesn't even look like a face. The World Star logo is a fucking crown." And just little stuff like making errors during their commentating. It's just it's kind of going down in terms of if you're looking to HBO for great commentary. It just I don't really see that. And then today, this is what sparked everything. I'm watching the Golovkin Gill card, and they're trying to promote the Chris Algieri Manny Pacquiao fight, which they need to. The fight's not till November, but the fans weren't really begging for this and requesting this, so it's good that they're doing some early promotion because you got to get people excited about this. And you know what I mean, a lot of people don't even know who Chris Algieri is unless you really watch the sport. But Jim Lampley's interviewing Chris Algieri, and he says some of the dumbest things in interviews. He was interviewing him, and obviously, if you're going to talk about Pacquiao, you're going to bring up Chris Algieri's last fight, and that was with Ruslan Provodnikov. This motherfucker said to Chris Algieri basically this. He said, "So in the first round, Ruslan caught you with the shot, and he damaged your eye, and your eye began to swell." He said, "So do you think having a damaged eye ultimately was an advantage to you?" Like, what the fuck kind of question is that? How the fuck would having a swollen eye in round one all the way down the stretch be an advantage? Like, that's stupid. Look up the term advantage in the dictionary, and there's no way you can justify that. That is never going to be it. Having impaired vision, not being able to see out of your peripheral, and not knowing where the punches are coming is never an advantage. Having an injury, especially vision, is never an advantage. Now, you could say Chris Algieri made adjustments and Ruslan Provodnikov was gunning for the eye, but there's no way on earth anyone can convince me having an injury in a fight, especially in round one, would work to your benefit. It doesn't work to your benefit. Like I said, Chris Algieri made the necessary adjustments and he coped with his injury and he was able to outbox Ruslan Provodnikov. But it's just a stupid statement to make. Like, how the fuck would that be an advantage? That's like me saying, hey, you right after you graduated high school, you went to prison. So do you think it was an advantage because you went to prison instead of college? Like, you can learn tons of like life lessons in prison, but it ain't no fucking advantage to go to prison over college. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. So Jim Lampley and his line of questioning is just straight basura. It's like, that's ass. I think HBO needs to really dig down and determine, like, is this what you want? And this dude has his own show, The Fight Game. You need a more of a like a Paulie Malignaggi. Like, I really just don't see other commentators saying the type of dumb shit that comes out of namely Jim Lampley's mouth. But there's a couple times where Max Kellerman will say something kind of suspect. But Jim Lampley is definitely the ringleader. You don't have Larry Merchant to complain anymore. He used to say some dumbass shit too. Mayweather was fighting, and then Larry Merchant was like, "Floyd is the hip hop boxer." Like, what the fuck are you talking about? How is he the hip hop boxer? Please explain this. But now there's no Larry Merchant. He retired and just kind of calls certain fights a lot of times abroad. So you see Jim Lampley a lot. And again, Harold Letterman, Max Kellerman, Roy Jones, Andre Ward, the different people that they have calling, I never really see as much of them saying dumb shit as Jim Lampley. Like, Jim Lampley will say some outrageous. He's like Jerry the King Lawler. Like, he's trying to overhype stuff. And it's clear who they love and support and who they don't. Like, if it's Pacquiao, you know Jim Lampley's going to be just swinging from the balls. And Pacquiao's a hell of a fighter. He's a great fighter. But damn, like, do you have to make it so blatant and so obvious? Like, Pacquiao can do anything. He can get up off the stool and fart, and then Jim Lampley will hype that up. Like, bang, bang, bang. Did you see the way he broke when bang? Like, the motherfucker farted. He ate beans and shit. Like, this is not epic. You know what I'm saying? And Jim Lampley will, like, really, I've never seen a man. He came from poverty in the Philippines. Bang, bang. Like, calm the fuck down, man. I just don't get it, man. And some of his questions are just absolutely absurd. Asking a man like Chris Algieri, who had a very tough fight, if having a damaged eye is an advantage, it's just stupid. Like, if I watched the Pacquiao Margarito fight and did a post-fight interview with Antonio Margarito, I would never say, hey, do you think the fact that Pacquiao broke your orbital and fucked your shit up, was that an advantage? And then hand the mic to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's stupid. That's not an advantage. Having anything like leg cramps, anything like that, any kind of injury is not an advantage. Having a fractured hand, none of those things are an advantage. Now, these things, if you're the right type of fighter, they might push you to the next level and cause you to dig down deep where you can overcome those things. Like Muhammad Ali fought a fight with a broken jaw. So I'm not saying people can't make adjustments and or overcome those things, but it is never an advantage to go through those fights. Like, name one fighter on the face of this earth, Name one that is gonna tell you I'd rather be fighting like a fucking cyclops than to fight with two good eyes. It's not gonna happen. No one's gonna say I want to go in to a fight with a dangerous guy with a big puncher like Ruslan Provodnikov with one one eye to see out of. You know what I mean? Like, this is a benefit for me. Like, yes, Ruslan bashed the fuck out of my eye. Great. Now I can only see out of one eye. This is helping me. Like, it doesn't help you. So I just feel Jim Lampley, and I had to address it, says some of the dumbest shit on the planet. Like, being a Cyclops would never, ever work to your benefit. Now, you can overcome it through just heart, determination, and that will to win, but it's not an advantage. Let me know what you guys think of HBO commentary. I just think some of the questioning and things are absurd. Some of the things that I say, just weird stuff like that. I remember another fight not too long ago where he's talking and he's talking right in front of a like one of the undercard fights, and there's like action going on in the back. It's just really distracting. So HBO's production of live fights has just kind of gone down. You didn't pick up the Carl Froch George Groves first fight, which was a huge mistake because it was a great fight. You didn't do it, and then you're like, okay, we're not going to make the same mistake twice. So you picked up the second one. Then I'm on YouTube. I see people who blew up and got a name in the boxing community off YouTube, like Michelle Joy Phelps, and she's in England at the fight interviewing Carl Froch and George Groves for the second fight, right? Yet HBO purchased this fight. You bought it and televised the fight, and your own crew is in Las Vegas in an empty arena calling a fight. Like, that doesn't make sense. Why do we have YouTube people who obviously have to fund things different? They're not a big box like HBO. And you have your HBO staff, your commentators, your celebrities who are calling a fight from an empty arena. You couldn't just purchase a plane ticket as a business, as a brand, as an entity for a fight you purchased. You can't get them a fucking round trip to England. Like, little things like that, man. It really just turns me off with HBO. I have nothing against HBO. I have nothing against any of the companies or promotional outfits that work with HBO. But I'm just talking about it from a commentary perspective and also just a production value. I think they're kind of hit or miss. They're not really like cashing in certain key areas. Like, maybe they need to get their creative director and fire him. Start off. Maybe they need some new blood in that whole box, I guess you could say. Make sure you like the video. Let me know what you guys think of the video and HBO as a whole. And that's really all I gotta say, man. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.